There's a number of different things that can get in the way of us being able to accomplish our fitness goals. And one of those things is a lack of nutrients. Now, when it comes to receiving the nutrients that we need, we do that through our digestive system. But unfortunately, many individuals have inefficient digestive systems because of the toxins in the environment, poor quality of food, low nutrient dense foods, and then in addition to that, medications. And so I want to bring to your attention some of the things that are common deficiencies or inefficiencies in our digestive system after the age of 40. Now, I also want to give you a few tips so that you can then support your digestive system and then in turn supporting your overall health. Because if our body doesn't get what it needs in order to regenerate, that's when we fall into disease, okay? One of the things that decreases is stomach acid. It's also called hydrochloric acid. This is something that is in the stomach, and it assists with our body being able to break down nutrients such as protein. Some individuals might experience areas of difficulty in processing certain foods. They might say, well, maybe it feels like it's just sitting there, or maybe it takes longer for you to then be able to have another meal because it still feels like you have food in there. Well, that is the case. Oftentimes there's food that is fermenting in that is sitting in your stomach because it hasn't been properly processed because you don't have enough of this hydrochloric acid or acidic environment in your stomach, which is necessary. Another thing that can come from not having enough hydrochloric acid is heartburn. Acid reflux, which is ironic because oftentimes people will think that they have too much, and so they'll take a drug that then causes it to deplete, which then causes and perpetuates the same issue, but at a more intense level. So one of the things that you can do, which I've tried, is to take apple cider vinegar before your meal. You can even take a bit of apple cider vinegar, 2 tablespoons usually is good, right before, a few minutes before you go to bed. You can also take it after your meal. Many times an individual will mix it with water just to make it a lot easier to be able to digest. There are also digestive enzymes that you can take that have the hydrochloric acid in there. So that's another option. Now, I do want to say that if you already have like damage to your gut lining, you have some sort of autoimmune disease that then causes damage to your digestive lining, maybe Crohn's, or if you have an ulcer or something like that, remember that can be healed, okay? But then you want to make sure that you're taking the right supplements in order to heal that. I know collagen is one of the things that is good for that. And then avoid drinking liquids while you're trying to eat. Like some people, they'll eat, they'll take some water. They'll eat and they'll take some water. The acidic environment in your stomach and gets in the way of you being able to break down things like proteins and other nutrients. So that's the first thing, your stomach acid. And the other thing is digestive enzymes decline as well. We have specific enzymes that enable us to break down the proteins, specific ones for the carbohydrates, specific ones for the fat. And so these decline after the age of 40. And so you might have experienced where you say, you know what, before I can eat anything, and you eat it and it seems like it gets processed, and then you can get up and move and play, but now you're like, dang, I just feel like I want to sit down. I just feel so tired. Or maybe after you eat, you get really tired. So this is the fact that it's taking more for that process to take place, and there's an inefficiency in your digestive system. Good news is there are some remedies here, okay? Aside from what I've already mentioned, you can take an digestive enzyme supplement, okay? Find a good quality one. Also, you can chew a little bit more slower, which is something that I have to intentionally practice and I've gotten better at. Also, you want to make sure that you're eating enzyme-rich foods. So you could have papaya, sprouts, pineapple, and there's also supplements that you can take. Of course, natural whole food supplements of papaya. That's actually papaya supplements that you can take that really aid in your digestion. And the other thing is bile flow slows down. I also want to say that some individuals have had a gallbladder removal, so that affects the bile flow. So when the bile flow slows down, you're not able to efficiently break down fats. And so you might have experienced issues with this as well if you're in your 50s, 60s, that you can't eat, there's certain foods that have a little bit more fat, they just don't work. Well, your body's not breaking it down. Okay, now another issue is that it's not just breaking down fats from our food, which is extremely important, but it's also the nutrients, like I said, the vitamins A, D, E, and K that we need to get from the food, or even if you take it in a whole food supplement form, your body can't break those down. So you could be taking them in a good quality supplement or good quality food, but you have issues with your bile, or maybe you've had a surgery, a gallbladder removal. So you're not getting the benefits from it. You're like, I'm eating these foods. How come it isn't working for me? Well, this is one of the issues, is that these are very important in regards to balancing your hormones. And you know that our hormones are going to affect everything else in our body, definitely our body's ability to lose body fat. And oftentimes many people are lower in vitamin D than they need to. I know you might get it checked and it says, okay, your vitamin D is okay, but understand that for our lifestyle, the records and the standards that are set, they're not for optimal function, and they're not individualized for our particular needs. So like I said, one season you might need more, one season you might need less. And so this is very important to know. But really looking into each one individually, which I said like is in the ebook, you can check that out, and it gives you, the explanation of what vitamin E does, what vitamin K does, what vitamin D does, and then you'll be able to see the response your body has when it doesn't have enough. And you can kind of start to help yourself to move in the right direction, okay? The other thing is going to be the environment in your gut microbiome, and that's the environment in your stomach, okay? You have a balance of good and bad bacteria, or what's called good and bad bacteria. There's a specific balance of bacteria. That balance, it aids in a number of different things that we need from the body, okay? But after the age of 40, higher stress, taking antibiotics, which many of you have taken, they're handed out like candy oftentimes, an inefficient diet, having processed foods, a lot of coffees with sugar, energy drinks, all of these things are going to affect your gut microbiome. Now, when it's imbalanced, it's called dysbiosis, and you experience things like constipation, food sensitivities, brain fog, weakened immunity. This is why oftentimes, sometimes you might experience, or grandma is sick again, or my mother is sick again, because your immunity, your digestive system, the environment in your gut has a lot to do with your immunity. It starts right there, okay? Even when you experience a change in your skin, that is also affected by the gut microbiome, okay? So this is very important. It's not just for you to lose body fat or accomplish some specific goals, but if you want to stay healthy and not get sick all the time, I know we like to correlate and relate things to age all the time, but you're not getting sick because of your age, you're getting sick because there's an imbalance in your stomach. But the good thing about it, you can then start to add some things in to help to balance it out. Like, well, for one, reduce the stress, be able to manage stress. You got to take a hold of your mind. Like I said, prayer is the number one thing there. And fermented foods are excellent. So like sauerkraut, kimchi, kefir is really good. And there's another L-reuteri yogurt that has been known. You make it yourself. One of the bacteria that have been very effective in our immune system and a lot of other functions in our body, and it helps with our digestive system as well, our gut environment there, okay? The other thing that I wanted to mention, and I kind of mentioned this a little bit earlier, are the medications that were given, even over the counter. They cause depletions in our nutrients, and they disrupt our digestive system. So they block our body from being able to utilize the nutrients that we might be taking in through food, and while at the same time they're depleting many nutrients. For example, antacids, they do this. You're trying to take it to lower the acid because you don't want the reflux, but it's actually doing the opposite when you take it on a regular basis, when you use it as a regular remedy versus getting to the root of what the issue is. The other thing is NSAIDs, so ibuprofen, Advil, Proxen, all of these cause inflammation, ulcers, and leaky gut. So, of course, you have leaky gut. There's going to be a number of different issues that you'll experience there. Autoimmunity, so on and so forth. Metformin, this is a diabetic medication. This depletes B12 and folate. These are the B vitamins. So you might experience like nerve damage and issues with your nerves, inefficiency to properly communicate with your body. This is one of the side effects from taking a medication from for diabetes. So you're taking metformin to address the diabetic diagnosis, but you're then getting these other side effects. Ironically, these also get in the way of your body being able to absorb nutrients. You need your B vitamins in order to do that, not just to help your nerves to heal and recover and regenerate. Okay? And who doesn't want their nerves? I do. Like, I want to be able to send a message to my body and for it to actually follow through. High blood pressure, I mentioned that. What happens? Many times we're given diuretics, and this flushes out a number of different electrolytes, nutrients that we need, like potassium and sodium. Okay? And these are actually important for muscle contraction. So, like, it's very ironic how these common drugs that are handed out cause these deficiencies. And then with those deficiencies, you receive even more drugs that are causing more significant deficiencies. Antidepressants, they cause significant issues in your bowel motility, they cause constipation, a number of different issues. When you are taking those opioids, other painkillers, and then antibiotics, of course, they completely wipe out your balance of gut microbiome. And unfortunately, when these are handed out, there aren't instructions on reestablishing your gut microbiome. If you're on antibiotics, for one, find out if you really need them. Okay, if you don't need them, there are a number of different other remedies that you can use in order to handle maybe a virus or whatever you might be taking it for. Go with the most natural remedy first. And then if you absolutely have to take the antibiotics, which is if you absolutely want to take the antibiotics, then take a significant probiotic with it, okay? That's going to be really important. I think there's one called Seed, and then Garden of Life has a really good one as well, okay? Now, I'm not telling you to stop taking medication. What I'm saying is start to research and find out the other ways that you can deal with the root, because you don't want to continue to take medication if you're making your body worse, and you don't want to continue to take the medication when you can just deal with the root issue, okay, and not deal with those side effects there. So what I would say is to help improve the motility, meaning your body's ability to kind of push the food through, because that's something else that slows down. You can do like walking. Exercise is so important. That'll help you to have regular bowels, which you should be having 2 regular bowels a day. Making sure that you're drinking enough water, have enough magnesium, which is really important. And once again, have a plan of managing, dealing with your stress so that it's not becoming locked up in your body. And we know that stress also is one of the things that motivates us to eat unhealthy. So it's going to help in a number of different ways. So these are the things right here that I wanted to just bring to your attention. Hopefully they're encouraging, because you know that there's a solution, and it kind of give you some insight as to what has been going on with you and your situation. But if you have any other questions about that, feel free to reach out and take a hold of these and really feel better. All right, you all. So check out Nourish to Flourish. I'll put the link in the description there so you can take a look at that or purchase that for yourself. And also, if you want to take advantage of that package to where you also get a one-on-one with myself evaluation, just to go over your specific needs, and I'll give you some recommendations there. But you can hit the link in the description. So I hope that was helpful for you all. You have a good day.